What is up, Bean Team? It is your boy King Bean back at it again with another rendition of what I watched this month. Yeah, haven't done one of these in a while, but I want to get back to it. So yeah, this is what I watched in April. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Let's hit 600 subscribers, We're close. Hit that subscribe button, it's free and it'll help out the channel. All right, without further ado, this is what I watched in April. Yeah. All right, I watched Whiplash, and I watched this after learning that that Damien Chazelle, he directed this and La La Land, because I watched La La Land before I watched this, but I watched Whiplash, and Whiplash is really, 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 really good. I want to watch it again. I feel like there's some stuff that you can catch the second time that you don't see the first time, but I really, really enjoyed watching Whiplash. And I don't know if Miles Teller is actually playing the drums or not, but whoever's playing those drums, they're doing a great job. J.K. Simmons is doing a fantastic acting job. It's the story is really I want to look for a better word than interesting, and I had it in my head, but insert vocabulary word there. The story, it's really good and I love it. I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. Would recommend. La La Land. funny thing, I watched La La Land 5 times in the month of April, and the first time I watched La La Land was in April. So after watching it for the first time, I proceeded to watch it 4 more times. The last time being last Friday. I watched it with a group of friends, and they loved it because it's one of the greatest films ever created. And if you want to know my full thoughts, watch my video essay, please. It would mean a lot if you watch my video essay. It's my favorite video ever made. Watch it. Yeah. Let's see. Next, I watched The Prestige. A friend had been recommending The Prestige for me for a long time, and I finally watched it, and I really enjoyed it. This is a very mind heavy movie. You got to think about a lot of stuff, and you got to catch things. So I definitely have to watch it again. But I mean, upon first watch, story's really good. It's about magic tricks, and what's that dude's name? Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. They play these 2 magicians, and they're trying to compete against each other, and it's like a war for them, really. And it's this really interesting story about these 2 magicians, and they're at war with each other, and it's all about the prestige. It's the third part of a magic trick is when the magician shows the audience the wow boom factor about the magic trick, and it's a whole story around magic. It's a good movie, trust me. All right, solid 9 out of 10 or recommend. La La Land, I gave it 10 out of 10. I forgot to give a rating, but I give that straight 10. Straight out of 10. Great movie. All right. I watched American Psycho. Now everybody is oh, this is a movie that all young men should watch. This is a movie that all young men should watch. And me personally, I think it's a bit overrated. I don't know if I'm alone in that opinion. I thought it was a bit overrated. It was kind of like watching if Jeffrey Dahmer and what's that guy's name? What's that bald dude's name who's talking about the Matrix? The Top G. What is Top G's name? Bro, I can't think right now. I have to freaking search it up on the internet so I can make this point, because it works. Bro, Andrew Tate. It's like if Jeffrey Dahmer and Andrew Tate had a child. That's who. I don't even know this dude's name, but the main character, American Psycho. If Andrew Tate and Jeffrey Dahmer had a child, that's who American Psycho would end up as. And it's weird. And we get to the end of the movie, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but dude, he does some crazy stuff, and he doesn't get caught, and I don't understand why. And I think that's the point about the movie, that no one, he thinks that he's this big bad cool dude in his head, but no one in this world really cares about him at all, because he's not that guy for real. But I don't know, man. It's funny in a disturbing way. I enjoyed it though. Give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'd recommend it. I don't think it's one of the greatest films of all time that all young men should watch, but it was a solid watch. I watched Air, saw that in theaters. That was a fun little watch. It's the story about how the first ever Jordan was created, and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck team up yet again. They're childhood buddies. They team up again and make this movie. I think Ben Affleck directed this movie, if I'm not mistaken. It was a great movie. If you have big dreams, if you don't take no for an answer, and you like to go out there and you're gonna get what you want, no matter what, because that's your dream and you're gonna go get it. Watch this movie, because it'll really speak to you, tug on your heartstrings. And Matt Damon did a very, very great job in his acting performance. And I love shoes. I love Jordan shoes specifically. I own more than 10 pairs, because why not? If you like shoes, you like to dream and chase your dreams, watch the movie. Solid 8 out of 10, would recommend. 12 Years a Slave. I watched this for a film class that I'm in. This is the first time I watched 12 Years a Slave, and in our film class, we had to watch Django and then watch 12 Years a Slave right after. And watching this right after Django was crazy. I mean, it was insanity. It's hard to imagine that this is like really what we went through back in the day, like all she wanted was some soap, man. Like, and we were talking about this in class, like, what is this movie for? Like, this isn't a movie that I'd like turn on like on a Saturday night, like, if I was like with my friends, I wouldn't be like, let's pop some popcorn and watch 12 Years a Slave. I don't think I'd ever watch this movie again. I don't want to, because it's a hard watch, and like it's sad. Like, the entire runtime is just brutal, and we get to the end and it's like it doesn't even really feel like a win, because like, dude, like, he missed out on 12 years of his family's life, and Brad Pitt is like white Jesus in this movie, I guess, but it's based on a true story. So like, I don't know. Like, this movie is like, it's so sad. It's good though, bro. Freaking Paul Dano and I don't know the dude. I think his name's Matt Fassbender. They are doing way too good of a job in their roles. Like, I know they're supposed to be playing slave masters, but they are playing these roles way too well, to the point I think that they could be a little racist in real life. I know they're not, hopefully, but they did too good of a job in their roles. Great acting, great story, brutal, sad. Solid 9.5. I don't know, solid 9 out of 10. I'd recommend it, because like, it's a good movie, but like, it's a brutal. Like I said, also watch Django. Django is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and I was so excited we had to watch this for class. Complete opposite of 12 Years a Slave. It deals with some of the same elements, but Django's like a spaghetti western, and 12 Years a Slave is an ultra realistic depiction of slavery. But Django, I love it. And if Quentin Tarantino didn't direct this movie, it never would have been made. So shout out to him. This movie is just, it's so great. I love the one scene at the end of the movie, and then Django, he's shooting up the family, and then the only person that's left is him and I don't know Samuel Jackson's character. Bro, Samuel Jackson did way too good of a job in this movie, but he's on top of the steps, and then like he runs out of shots in his gun, and Samuel Jackson, he looks at Django and he's like, I count 6 shots, nigga. And then Django pulls out a second gun. He's like, I count 2 guns, nigga. Such a great scene. But Leonardo DiCaprio did way too good of a job too. When he's talking about how like black people had these like ridges in like their brain, or like their skull, that makes them more submissive, and then he crushes the skull. And then there's that one scene and he's like, hey, you lay your hands flat on the tortoise tabletop. If you take your hands off the tortoise tabletop, so-and-so will personally see to it that you get shot in the head. And he's like, now we are going to do business. It's a really cool scene. He actually, when he slammed his hand on the table, he actually cut his hand on actual glass, and that's real blood in his hand, but he kept acting because he's just that good of an actor. If you haven't seen Django, go watch it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also for film class, I watched Moonlight for the first time. It's a really powerful story. It's about this guy named Chiron, and like it goes throughout 3 phases of his life, and he's a gay guy, and like he has to deal with being, how kids are making fun of him as a child, and like he grows up and he's getting bullied in school, and then like it goes throughout his life, and it's just a really powerful look inside of like his mind, and how he grows as a character as he gets older, and like how his past really affected his future. And I don't want to spoil anything about the movie, but it's a really great movie. I didn't want to like it because this is the movie that beat out La La Land for Best Picture in 2016, and I think La La Land is one of the best movies ever created. So I was like, ain't no way it's that good, but like if you really sit down and break down like the film and like the different colors that they use to display different emotions, and like the way music is used in this film, it's a great movie, and I see why it won Best Picture. I still think La La Land is better, me personally, but Moonlight's definitely a 10 out of 10 film that I recommend everybody should watch. Especially if you really like to watch movies, please watch Moonlight, because there's so much to break down about like literally every scene in this movie, and there's not a lot of talking done in this movie, so they get to use King Beam's favorite phrase, eye acting. Like the characters, the actors, they get to show so many emotions, and they get to relay so much through their facial features and like the way they emote instead of talking. There's a lot to watch in this movie and not react to. You have to watch and see and pay attention in order to understand what's going on, and that's why I really like this movie. Yeah. Let me check my little list here. I'm looking at a screenshot of my Letterboxd account to see what I watched. I watched Selma. Now, I don't know, I might get a little hate for this. I am not a big fan of Selma. I remember I watched it for the first time senior year of high school. Didn't like it then. Watched it again for my class that I'm in. Still don't like it now. I mean, it's alright. It's not like a bad movie. It's just not for me personally. But yeah, it's a cool little history movie about Martin Luther King and the March in Selma. I mean, and like these ratings are my personal ratings. It's not like an objective. It's a subjective rating that I'm giving, based on how much I like it. So I give Selma a solid, like, I don't know. I mean, like objectively, it's not a 6 out of 10, because I think 6 out of 10 is like good mid, but like I just don't like Selma, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And like, yeah, it's not a movie I'd personally recommend because I don't know. It's alright. Let's see. Is that it? Last thing I watched Return of the Jedi in the movie theaters because it came back for its 40th anniversary, and it was so cool. It was such a cool watch, man. This is the first time I feel like Empire Strikes Back came back to theaters for its 40th anniversary. I don't know for sure, but I know it had a 40th anniversary a couple years ago, 3 years ago to be. In fact, that would have been during COVID, so movie theaters weren't even open, so it didn't. So it would have came out. But yeah, Return of the Jedi, it came back to theaters for 40th anniversary, and I finally got to see one of the original trilogy in theaters, and it was such a cool experience. And going to a movie theater, it's a collaborative experience. That's why I love going. All the kids are dressed up in their little Jedi robes, and the girls had the little Leia buns, and as soon as that opening crawl came on the screen, everybody in the theater started clapping and cheering. It was a great experience. When the victory celebration song came on, I had the biggest smile on my face, man. It was such a cool experience. I wish I could go back. I really wish I could go back. But yeah, that was one of the greatest theater experiences I've ever had. And of course, it was because I was watching Star Wars with all the Star Wars fans. So yeah, y'all know, it's Return of the Jedi. It's a great movie. I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. And yeah, I'd greatly recommend. It was my favorite Star Wars movie for the longest before I saw Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, that's what I watched this month. Let me know down in the comment section below what you watched this month. Give me some recommendations for stuff that I can watch during May and your recommendation might get featured in what I watched in May. Like I said, subscribe, join the Beam team, join the fam. We need you. Let's get this 600 subs. You feel me? And yeah, drop a like on the video. It helps out a ton. And yeah, I got some great content planned for y'all. So yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Love you. Have a great day. Peace out.